Well, here we are again, folks. This is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. We've rambled on this morning. We got in chapter 3 of the book of Proverbs this morning. And it's like I told my boys, you're not going to go too far, too fast in the book of Proverbs. You're not going to go too far, too fast anywhere in the Bible if you want to find out what it says. If you want to muse on it a little bit, and that means to pause and look at it. And I would say for those of you who are hunting for what you see, Brother Peter have. What do I have? I have peace in my heart. I have the fruits of the Spirit within me. I'm able to speak to people about the Lord Jesus during the day. I'm able to be free to walk up to a man and say, "Sir, if you died right now," what this says, "do you know for sure you would go to heaven?" All the answers that you get. But I tell you what, to know for sure that you would go to heaven is the very most important first decision that you'll ever make. First spiritual decision that you will ever make that counts is to get the ticket to go to heaven. It's a free gift from Jesus Christ. He gives it to every single solitary person that asks him. I was talking with a lady yesterday, and I was talking about, we have a thing that we do at our church every year called Judgment Journey. Well, in this Judgment Journey, it takes a person on about 14 acres of land on a journey through what it's going to be like in the end time. And at the end of that journey, we give every single person the opportunity to accept the Lord Jesus Christ or reject him. Well, you say, what if a person accepts him? Can he follow that? Absolutely not. A man cannot be a Christian without sacrificing first the fact that he's following the devil. How does he do that? He said, "Lord, I am a sinner. I would like you to forgive me of my sin, come into my heart, and save my soul." Well, now he has sacrificed his own fleshly desire to put the desire of God in his flesh. Well, when he puts the desire of God in his flesh, then he will start learning how to live a Christian life or a spiritual life. Does a man have to know how to read and write? No, he doesn't. I didn't know how to read and write when I got saved. I was 30 years old and I was a completely illiterate. And I've had to learn. I'm learning this computer. I'm learning things right today. I'm sitting here in front of a book that I can read because I've taken 40 years of my life and learned how to read it and learned how to use it. But if you died right now, do you know whether you'd go to heaven? That's a good question. If you can't answer that immediately, say, "Yes, I do. I've asked Jesus to forgive me of my sin, come in my heart, and save my soul." Wow, then you're on the way. Now, if that be the case, are you allowing Jesus to use this body that you've asked him into? That's the second phase. After you ask him to save you, you need to look up the word baptism, and you need to see what that is. And what that is that's like putting this ring on this finger. I say to my woman that I'm going to marry, "I take thee to be my lawful wedded wife." And then the man says, "Now you may put the ring on her finger." From that statement. Well, I made the statement, "Jesus, forgive me of my sin, come in my heart and save my soul." The very next thing I need to do is go be baptized. What is that, Brother Peter? What is baptism, Brother Peter? That's going down and tell a man at a local church, a local place where people come to worship, a group gather, that are a group, and make sure it's a group now that follows the Lord, make sure it's a group that lives out of this Bible, make sure it's not just a group of people gathering in some other kind of club, and they have a big church building, a big building that they come to, and it's just a club. No, you don't want it to be just a club. You want it to be a spiritual gathering. You want to be baptized, if possible, by a spiritual man. If you don't, it ain't the man that counts, it's the act. And the act between you and God is you to say, I'm willing to put this ring on of the Lord and be baptized in front of these people, which would be considered by the world a foolish thing to do. But by the person doing it, if he's doing it in the Lord, it's a renewing of inside of you. Your spirit is renewed, and you feel like, wow, I was obedient in that first step, and now that I was obedient, God's going to take my life and bless it. What is the second step? Second step after salvation is, the first step is baptism. The second one is commit in your mind and in your life that you're going to take 10% of all the money that God allows to go through your hand and put 10% on the first day of the week in the very place that you said when you asked Jesus to forgive you of sin, come in your heart and save your soul. You committed to baptism, and now you've committed to tithing. Well, you can't tithe if you don't tithe to a local body. So that means that you need to join a local body of believers. And you need to find a local body of believers that believes in the death, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ wholeheartedly, that believes that the Bible is infallible, that there are no mistakes in the Bible, that use a King James Version, that use a version that is clear, that has been used for thousands of years, hundreds of years, and it has the truth about God in it. And that's what you need to use. And then, so you need to find a church that uses the King James Version, that is correct, Bible correct. And then you join that. And then you put your tithes in there. What is a tithe? A tithe is 10 cents on every dollar, $1 on every $10, $10 on every 100. You say, well, I've never done that before, Brother Peter. I've gone to church before and put my dollar in the offering plate. Well, in ignorance, you've done that. And because you've done that in ignorance, you're covered. But now that you're saved, you have a command. And it's not a request. He said that 10%, God says, of everything you make belongs to me. And over there in the very last book in Malachi, one of the last books in the Old Testament, says, will a man rob God? And then the answer to that is, it says, yes, he will. He'll rob him in tithes and offerings. That means that we are supposed to tithe our 10%, and then we're supposed to do offerings. And what are offerings? Offerings are those little things that I talk about. You put $1 in a tract and give it to some poor person or somebody working behind a window at a fast food place, or give an extra $1. You go to a restaurant and eat, put an extra $1 above and beyond your tip in the thing right here. And by the way, I will say this. The worse the service, the bigger the tip should be. The worse that the service is in there, the bigger the tip should be. Remember this. If you have a lady or a man waiting on you and the service is terrible, there's a good possibility that person has got something going on in their life that is a whole lot worse and a whole lot bigger than you or I can realize, and they need a clap or a helping hand. They need to say, look, I want to help you out of this hole. I want to do something for your body that'll do something for your spirit, that'll do something for your soul. Body, soul, and spirit. The $1's for the body. The tract and what the tract says in it is for the soul and the spirit. If you do something for a man's body and not for his soul, you've done nothing. If you do it for his soul and not for his body, you've done nothing. You want to do something in the Lord, wholly in the Lord. do the body, soul, and spirit, the whole person thing.